Hi, I'm Brian Sharp of Onset Communication. We build visual communication tools when words fail. Our initial market is the film and television industry. I teamed up with Peter Workman and Dr. David LeBlanc a couple years ago to build a tool for me. I'm a producer and a director of photography in film. I've been in the business for 25 years, mostly working in Toronto, and I have always been experiencing the same pain, which from a producer's point of view, my job is to shoot a project on budget. And the budgets are always getting smaller, and if we get into overtime hours, the burn rate is extremely high, and I get in trouble. So on the flip side, from a director of photography point of view, I'm trying to make the best product possible, and I never have enough time to do it. So it's this constant conflict between a schedule and doing a great job, and from both the producer's point of view and the director's point of view, we're only as good as our last project. If we don't do a great job creatively, that show might not get renewed for another season, or I might not get the next customer or client I'm looking for let's say, a commercial job. So we focused on one part of the problem, which is visual communication, or communication on set specifically. So you get into this situation where you have a whole bunch of people crowded around a monitor trying to do their job by seeing what the camera sees. And it's often cluttered with wires and cables, and one monitor per camera. It takes a lot of power, and so we developed the visual assistant. The visual assistant allows you to take multiple camera feeds wirelessly into a mobile server out to multiple tablets. And so that means many people can then see for themselves what the camera sees, and they can choose the camera feed that they want to choose whenever they want it without interrupting anyone, without breathing on anyone's neck and getting in anybody's face. Additionally, we added we're calling visual communication, where you can draw over top of each of the live feeds in real time as a conversation with other people. So it facilitates creative collaboration, and you can do it in discrete conversations, like two people can be having one conversation, while another group of people can be having a completely separate conversation. Additionally, it does recording and playback, which means that anybody on set that has one of these tablets can do their own playback for their own reference for their particular job, and see for themselves what the camera feeds are feeding in real time to each user. So for instance, and a great example is a boom operator. There's this conversation that happens between a boom operator and the camera operator who says, "Where's the edge of frame?" And they put the boom in, and eventually they find the edge of frame, and then they back out. And that conversation can take anywhere between 30 seconds to 5 minutes. And then they start shooting, and then all of a sudden the guy pans up, and the boom's in the shot, and they have to say cut and start over again. And that conversation with this tool disappears completely. So our initial launch is in the film and television industry, and we have, because of my contacts in Toronto, that's where we're starting out first, and some of the stats are from Toronto. So for instance, in the city of Toronto, these stats are 2 years old, but 1,300 productions per year, approximately 6,800 days of shooting in total. Right now in Toronto, it's booming. Because of the dollar value, there's probably almost double this number, and the number keeps growing every year. So there's huge potential. The US market is 10 times the Canadian market. The world market there's over 50,000 feature films being produced every year. Or 250 hours of original programming created per channel, per country every year. But our initial launch is in Toronto because of my personal contacts there, and the ability to get, we're in Canada, it's an easy place to get. The other reason to start in Toronto is that there's a lot of American productions happening there, so it's an easy transition from Toronto to the US market. There's over 70 standing studios. There's hundreds of productions happening every year. We also see additional channels of upselling our customers so that, let's say the basic kit, our business model is a rental model, which is common in the film industry for renting gear to a production. And so we can upsell them with additional kits for that gear. So it's like the initial kit might be 1 camera with 3 tablets. If you want 3 cameras with 10 tablets, that'll just cost more. We also are adding off-site access, which means that you'll have the same functionality on set that you currently have, being able to draw and communicate with other users, but with anyone, anywhere. So our use case for that is the commercial industry, commercial productions, where a client might not be able to make it to set when they want to, but they can still be involved in the production and catch things before they happen, catch mistakes before they happen, or as they happen, and then reduce the cost because they're able to reshoot right away instead of a day or a week later. How we're going to reach oops, I went backwards. How we're going to reach our customer initially through my industry contacts. We already have some traction in Toronto with a letter of interest from Radkey, which is an advertising firm in Toronto. They have 3 standing studios that they want to deploy our product within. Also, there's William F. White, which is a rental house. We have a letter of agreement with them that when we're ready, we will trigger a relationship with them where they'll be our distribution channel in Canada that will make the act of renting our kit out on a daily basis achievable. Like if we tried to take that job on ourselves, it'd be more work than I think it would be worth. But William F. White is set up for that exact business model, and we would just do a revenue share with them. Additionally, we will have an early adopter program. And the way that works is that we put our kit into someone's hands and they test it for a week or a day. And if they use it for longer than that, then they've entered a rental agreement with us. What we're looking for is we have built a working prototype for this initial product. And we want to take it from that to a proper beta release and do branding and market activities to get it in as many users as possible, as quickly as possible. So we've raised up to $270,000 so far to get us to where we are today, which is our working prototype. We're looking for another $400,000 that will unlock another $1.1 million of non-dilutive funding from various government sources that I have received in the past and have already started to line up for the future. That's all. Thanks.